Hello and welcome back. Let's continue from where we stopped. So you remember we did npm install that's G Firebase tools to install the Firebase tools. Okay, that's the last thing we did in the previous class, and we're gonna continue. So I'm quickly gonna cd to my desktop where I want to create the program, create this application. Okay, so I'm in my desktop now. So I'm gonna simply say make dir. I want to create the folder where I'm gonna create this application. I'm gonna simply call this folder Firebase full stack. So we are actually building a full stack application in Firebase. I could call it Sports Lovers as the name that I use for the Firebase, but let me call it this. Okay. Okay, since I've created this folder which is going to house our application, I'm going to cd into it by saying cd Firebase full stack. Okay, good. So it is inside this very folder that I'm going to run Firebase init. Okay, so I'm going to initialize our application here. So this is very important. You're going to see how we're going to make choices in this Firebase. This is very important. You're going to choose the programming language that you're going to be using, whether it's JavaScript or TypeScript. Okay, interesting. We are building a full stack application using Firebase as the backend service. Front end, we are going to be using React, Redux for state management. You're going to enjoy these. Okay, so while these are Firebase is trying to initialize, I'm going to come back to these show you what we've done so far. We clicked on project and we're able to create this postload project. So after this, we are going to learn how to create a database. We are going to also learn how to use the Firebase storage. I don't know whether you've heard about AWS, Amazon Web Services. It's also a very good cloud computing service similar to what you have in Firebase. Just like you have Firebase, you also have the Amplify for AWS. You can also use that to create your uh, application. And you know that app development is going or moving towards cloud computing. Everything is cloud computing. There you have everything in one place. Cloud computing, very important. So maybe after this project on Firebase, we're gonna do something on Amazon Web Server on AWS so that we also know how to use that. Also use AWS backend as a service, similar to what we would have used for Firebase. But in this lecture, we're concentrating on Firebase now. So let's pick out everything in Firebase. Okay. So while I wait, because my computer is a little bit slow, so while I wait for this Firebase init, let me quickly go create the database so that we'll also learn how to create the database. So I'm going to go to the project that I have, which is Sportslog. That is the project we created last time. So let's get to Sportslog. Sportslog. Interesting. Okay. Good. So we're in the dashboard for Sportslog. So we're going to learn how to create a database. So I'm going to click on firestore database. That is where you create your database. Firestore. If you want to store images and videos, it's in storage. If you want to host, it's in hosting. If you want to create your cloud functions, your REST APIs in functions. If you want to do machine learning, artificial intelligence is in machine learning. Okay. If you also want real-time database, we also have it here. Authentication is for your login and logout. Okay. So please, you're gonna click on create database. That is how you go about that. Now you're gonna have two options whether to go in production mode or in test mode. So in production mode, you have restricted access to some utilities in the database, whereas in test mode, you don't have such. So if you are just learning for learning purposes, you can use test mode. But when you want to ship this application when you're done, or if you're really doing something for production, it should be in production mode. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly click on start in test mode because I want to do this in test mode. Interesting. Okay, so once you do that, you're gonna click on next. That's the next thing to do. Okay, so you're gonna be asked your location certain. After you set the location, you cannot change it later. Blah 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 blah. So you can pick a location for yourself. So you can see US Central. If I click here, I'm gonna see a couple of other places. Europe West, US Central. Let me see whether I can see something in Africa. Most times they don't not normally have something in Africa. You can see, just like I said, there's nothing for Africans. Okay, it's not bad. You can still manage US Central. It's still okay. It's still gonna work. So I'm gonna click on enable. Okay, so that is how you create a database in Firebase. Very, very important. And as you all know, we are doing it in the test mode. Okay. Okay, so let's wait for a minute so that it completes creation. So immediately after this, we are going to click on add collections. We want to create collection. Collections are actually the tables. Okay. So we created the database. You know, database is simply composting of several tables. Okay. So you can see that our database is created. So I'm going to quickly click on start collection so that we can add some collections, some tables in the database. Okay, so so it's gonna ask me for a collection ID. Um, Let me close this up. No. So what is the identity of the collection? Okay, so I'm gonna always have post users, and so it depends on the table that you want to create now. So let me start off with users. So users table, I'm gonna go to next. Okay, uh, I'm gonna give it a field. Say it depends on what you want in your user, whether you want username or password, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna say user handle, and it's gonna be a type string. I'm gonna give it myself my name, first name. So I'm gonna add another field. So user handle, I'm gonna have name. Okay, let me just go straight to password. I don't know. So let me just give it password test 123 for now. Um, can also have something like created at where the type is going to be timestamp. You can also have other things, your age, and depending on the kinds of information that you want to pick up for a user. Okay, you can also have confirm password, confirm password, and also going to be string. In this case, it should be something as your password. Okay. So once you're done, you can simply write user here as the document ID, or you can click on auto ID. Depending on anyone you choose, it can still give you the same thing. So normally, sometimes I just write user here. So once you save, you're gonna have that table created. Okay, and it's gonna have the value that you attach to it. So you're gonna, if you want to add more, you can add more data or more records to the collection. Okay. So let's give it a while. It's going to come up here. So that is basically how to create a database and create a collection, which is table. So you can create another table if you want. So I can simply click here and still create another one, call it post. So this table is going to take up post. So post that's going to have things like post title, which is going to be a string. So you can call it first post. Every post apart from title is gonna have body and string, and it's gonna have this is my Firebase post. That's the body. Okay, so let's try out another one where we can put another type of type. So we're gonna have created ad. So when was this post created? So you can pick the timestamp of this timestamp. So you can have Boolean type. You can see the different types that you can have: geopoint, reference, geopoint for location, reference, null, array. If you're picking up array, map, boolean, number, string. So these are the different data types. So for timestamp, once you pick timestamp, it's gonna enable you to quickly pick out these. So you can click on these and pick out the. So I'm gonna actually pick today's date, which is 18, and time. You can just pick any time. So I can write 04. Okay, click out. So it says invalid time. So just understand where it is reading. You can write 0404 blah blah blah. So let me say 0404 1 2 3 4. Okay, so I can simply save. Okay, so you can see the user collection that we had earlier created, and this is the post collection. So all of them having these inside them. Okay, so that is how you create database, Firebase, creation of